There could be orcas and belugas jumping here in Port Hilford Bay by the spring of 2023. At least that's what Charles Vinick is hoping.
So we looked at over 130 sites in British Columbia, Washington State, and here in Nova Scotia.
Because of its size, depth, and shelter from storms, he says this bay is perfect for his team's whale sanctuary project, a new home for whales that have been performing at marine parks.
Now it's still captivity. They'll be inside a netted environment.
Vinick came here from California, traveled 250 kilometers east of Halifax, then 20 minutes down this dirt road. It's a bit off the beaten path, but ideal, says Vinick, for whales that can't just be returned to the wild.
It's so much more high quality life with natural seawater, with critters on the bottom with which they can interact, with waves and nature that allow them to swim more than a couple of body lengths, to dive that they can never do in a tank. So it's giving them back some of what we as humans have taken from them.
There are still a lot of details to be worked out, and this welcome center is the only thing that's actually been built.
Now this is an artist rendering, but it is the plan for how the nets will encircle 100 acres of water space, more than 150 times larger than the largest performance tank anywhere in the world.
But Vinick is determined. He's part of the team that freed the real whale in the Free Willy movies.
So that really informs a lot of the work that we're doing today.
It's a wonderful idea.
This UBC scientist supports the idea in principle, but has concerns about where the group will come up with the money to pull it off.
Is it realistic to think that you can keep this funded forever? How much do you need every year? And what's going to happen if that money doesn't come? When you care for a marine mammal, you're caring for a child. And that's a long-term commitment. And they're long-lived too.
Vinick says it will take around $15 million to get the project off the ground, plus $2 million a year to keep it going. He says the money will come entirely from private donations, and his group has raised $3 million.
Your passion for this is very clear. Is it feasible?
Why would it not be feasible? What it takes is people who have the commitment, who have the ability to find the resources, and have the staying power to make sure that commitment isn't momentary.
Nova Scotia's Department of Natural Resources confirms it has received a request to lease Crown lands, but says a lease has not been issued, and all of the appropriate reviews and assessments are still in progress. Vinick says it's slower than he'd like, but acknowledges nothing like this has ever been done anywhere in North America.
So it's a step-by-step process to identify what's unique about this project and how to apply the regulations that exist to something that's this unusual and unique.
Vinick also admits he doesn't have a commitment from any marine park to let their whales come here. 2.5 years ago, Canada passed a law to ban keeping whales and dolphins in captivity.
The fact that Canada made that commitment makes this an ideal country to be doing this in.
Canada's only captive orca, Kiska, lives at Marineland in Niagara Falls. The park was recently charged with allegedly using whales and dolphins for entertainment purposes. Marineland says it has no ideological objection to whales moving to the whale sanctuary project, but it has conducted a preliminary objective assessment of the project and finds it has no funding, no facilities, no on-site employees, and is proposing to operate in an environmentally toxic area. There were former gold mines on the site, but Vinick says any issues would be remediated before any whales are introduced.
I own all this property, all this side of the road here, right down to the water.
Locals are divided. Some who live in the immediate area are concerned about an increase in traffic. It won't be a tourist attraction, but there's nothing stopping people from coming to watch the whales.
We're not in favor of it because we just don't know how much it would affect our lives. We don't know.
In the nearby community of Sherbrooke, businesses have a different perspective.
It's quite an exciting thing to think about that they've picked this little part of the world.
Heather Leibold volunteers with a local museum.
Yes, the whales will be safe and secure in our lovely waters, tranquil, and not bothered or tormented. But it's the economic spin-off that we're all hoping for.
For Charles Vinick, it's a passion project.
I can see it. I mean, I can feel those whales out there jumping in these waves and being part of it.
But he insists his commitment isn't just emotional, and he has every intention of seeing the project through to help create a better life for captive marine mammals. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Port Hilford Bay, Nova Scotia.